My name is Gordon Levine. I'm 58. I was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2014. At the time, as I said, it was stage 3, and I did the standard surgery, which was a partial resection of the colon, and then the normal chemo, and I was in remission at that point. In 2016, I had recurrence with spread to the abdomen area. So I was now stage 4. I did HIPEC surgery, which is where they operate, remove the cancer, and put hot chemo in your abdomen while you're on the operating table. It's a very difficult surgery. And then I did another round of chemo after that. And again, they said I was NED at that time. In early 2018, I had a major recurrence with spread to liver, lung, bone. It was in my spine, in my right leg, in the hip bone, back in the colon, back in the peritoneum area. And I enrolled in an immunotherapy clinical trial here locally in Montreal, and initially felt better, but I had progression. So after a few months, I had to exit that trial. I then received, I guess, I don't know, a fourth or fifth line at this point, called Lonsurf, which was toxic. So at that stage, we're in the fall of 2018, and I had no more treatment options locally. I was able to get in touch with a doctor in San Diego, and I had a second opinion, and I did sequencing at that time. And based upon the sequencing and some family history and my own history, I flew down there and received a consultation, and he suggested two options. He had a phase 1 clinical trial of a cancer vaccine that I would qualify for, but before then, he recommended I try immunotherapy a second time with a combination of two drugs, which I started in January of 2019. And after 3 rounds of the immunotherapy, my markers plummeted, and we were very excited. And I went to do a scan, and the tumor started to shrink. I was very sick at this time, probably close to terminal, and everything started to change. And what I noticed the most, because I had extreme pain from the bone mets, and I was on heavy opioids, and I noticed that the pain was starting to alleviate. I continued on the immunotherapy for 18 months, and it turned into the COVID year, 2020. So I ended up basically, originally I'd gone to San Diego, and I was commuting when I started to get better, but I ended up stuck there for the COVID year. And by the end of the treatment, there was still a residual bit of cancer in the sigmoid colon area that was showing on the PET scan. So in 2021, I had surgery. I removed the rest of my colon, and I've been NED since then. So I've been off treatment now since June of 2020, and I've been NED since 2021. So I'm just being monitored right now. And this is a story of a very personalized approach to treatment, because on paper, like many colorectal cancer patients, I don't appear at first glance to be an immunotherapy candidate. But the sequencing that I did at this company called Tempus in Chicago not only looked at the tumor, but also did a germline sequencing of the blood. And they found something in the germline that put a little light bulb in the oncologist's head. And he put the pieces together specifically for me. So the treatment that I got, which technically wasn't under FDA approval because I didn't have the certain biomarkers that qualified and wouldn't qualify now for the approvals that we have locally since then. But in my particular case, um, he felt that it was worth a shot. Now I have to say, the precision immunotherapy clinic in San Diego, they did a lot of blood analysis in the lab where I don't know what they do exactly, but they look for immune response. So they're trying to have a little more corroboration before going into this treatment, which I think is pretty unique, but it's helpful because um, uh, the clinical trial may have been successful, but it's a phase 1, so it's still very novel. The treatment that I received had been recently approved at that time. I started in 2019. It had received approval only the year before for colorectal. So it was still new, but it was already, they knew some of the results and the side effects and all of that. So it's all a story to say that every patient's cancer is individual, right? It's your own DNA that's gone wrong for whatever particular reason. And a treatment that works for patient A doesn't necessarily work for patient B, but um, um, what we need to find is the treatment that works for us. So I always say um, uh, I didn't need to find a cure for cancer. I needed to find a treatment for my cancer. And I think that's really the approach. Uh, as they do more and more research, it gets more and more complicated, not less complicated. And there's no magic one size fits all solution in cancer treatment. So it's really, really important as a patient to understand your own genetics and biomarkers and family history and all of that, and seek out opinions, second opinions, third opinions, to find something that will give you the best chance.